Hello, mindful friends. Today I'm going to be sharing with you about my new book, Living from the Heart, Healing Ourselves so that we can heal the world. And I'm so excited to share this book with you and offer it out into the world because this book contains my own kind of teachings and the journey that I took from a state of kind of despair, depression, dissatisfaction into a state of really living fully from the values of my heart, living as my authentic self. And the transformation that brought to my life was incredible. What it offered to me, what I was able to do, how I relate to my experiences, to others, to my body, to health. It just brought such a peace and an insight and intention into everything that I do. And it's not that all of a sudden you start living this perfectly ideal life where nothing wrong ever happens. It's really that you develop these skills and this practice that supports you through anything that occurs in your life so that you can show up through those instances or situations as your authentic, heart-centered self, and that you trust that everything that you go through can help you to grow, to transform, to move closer and closer to who you really want to be in the world. And so this book, what inspired me to write it is, as I was going through my healing journey, I was searching high and low for resources, for support, for teachings to help me rediscover what I felt like I had lost, which was this happy, true, authentic self. And in all these books that I read, I discovered amazing teachings, little insights and wisdoms in each one, but none gave me a really clear path forward. Like, what do I do with this information? Like, this is great information, and I'm glad that these people had these insights, but it wasn't clear to me the application in my life that was so different. Each of our lives are so different and unique that it was hard to apply it into my experience. So what I really wanted to do was put down into words a path forward that's adaptable to everybody's life. So what are the teachings that anybody can use? No matter what your religion is, no matter where you live or your culture, you can use these teachings in my book to create a mindful practice, a self-care practice, an awareness practice that serves you best, that adapts to you. And it gives you, kind of the backstory of where the teachings came from. Some are from science, some are from great spiritual leaders. And then it turns it into very straightforward practices that you can do to develop these insights and this awareness for yourself so that you can start applying them in your own life and seeing the transformation that it brings you. So it not only kind of gives you the new insights or kind of that wisdom, but it gives you a really tangible, simple, practical way to use it and to apply it. And then it gives you exercises for you to practice it and questions for you to ask yourself and then develop your own awareness. Because this mindful journey, it's about you developing the ability to when I say heal yourself, of course we need resources, of course we need support, but that support should be working towards empowering you to understand yourself better, to have that awareness where when something's off and you notice that you have shifted away from being authentic self or shifted away from the heart, that you yourself have developed techniques to recognize when that happens, and then techniques to pull back and pause and understand why it happened. Why did I just pull away from my heart? Why did fear just take over? And then we use that understanding that you yourself now have built within you to look, what need is really needing to be nurtured here? How do I need to nurture myself back into a state of well-being? And where does that true nurturing really come from? And then that, yes, we probably in that nurturing phase might reach out to other support. We might do our different self-care practices, whatever they are for you, but it brings you back into alignment with your heart. And that's kind of the journey, is you're developing this awareness. What serves me? What supports me in being my authentic self? And then how can I be so aware that I notice when I have slipped away, when I'm not living in alignment? And then so aware that I know what's going to bring me back. And all of this practice that you're developing, and why I love it so much, is that it's never in judgment. It's never in condemning yourself or judging yourself or being hard on yourself. It's always in love. Like, I'm loving myself so much that I want to support myself and bring myself back into alignment. So it's a very gentle, peaceful, loving, and honestly straightforward. I'm thinking a lot of my own spiritual research is like, people can get really jumbled up and words are complicated and they focus on the complexity of things and definitions and doctrine and like rituals, and it's like you lose track of what really matters, and it almost feels like it's further and further away from you because it's hard to understand, it's hard to grasp, it's hard for you to attain on your own. And this practice brings it all back down to its simplicity, brings it all back down to a level where anybody can engage, anybody can learn it, can develop it, can grow it, and can apply it to their lives. So it just breaks it down, makes it accessible to everybody. It's not something that you have to be, have your doctorate to understand, or be a really philosophical and dive deep to understand. It's like, no, anybody can do this when you bring it down to what really matters and what's really going to serve you in life. And that's what I think makes this book so special, is it's for everybody, and it can apply to how you live your life. There's no strict way to do it. It's just developing an awareness so that you ask yourself the questions every day. What serves my authentic, heart-centered self best, and how can I engage in those things and offer those things to myself? All the way from, starting with how do you pause and just breathe, into how do you make a peaceful relationship with your body, and then with your mind and your thoughts, and with your emotions. How do you understand your emotions, listen to them, use them wisely? How do you consume in ways that supports you well? Consuming media, books, television, conversations, food, drink, with no strict regimen, just you observing what serves me best. Into how do you develop perceptions and an open mind that helps you relate to experience in a positive way? And then how do you bring this practice that you're building out into the world, into your relationships with others? How do you communicate mindfully? How do you forgive mindfully? How do you love mindfully? And how do you really live from the spirit? So how do you, when you get to that heart-centered self, how does that reflect out into who you're being in the world? And what does it mean to really live from the heart? And what's so great about this is that you can take it home and do it at your own pace, journaling on it, doing the exercises. There are online meditations that you can get access through my website and meditate along with it. Take the journey at your own pace and using this information and molding it to your schedule, to your lifestyle, so that you can make the practice work for you. I really hope that you enjoy this book and you engage with it fully and dive into the practices, use them in your life, and let them transform you back into your heart-centered, authentic self.